East Point Reserve is a special place for the people of Darwin and is one of the most popular recreation areas for both locals and visitors. Rich in history and biodiversity, East Point is easy to access and has an abundance of facilities and attractions for everyone.
The reserve contains numerous World War II artefacts and structures, including the 9.2-inch gun emplacements, anti-aircraft gun emplacements, and ammunition stores. The two 9.2-inch gun emplacements were not commenced until mid-1941. This is the first of the two installations. The bombing of Darwin halted the installation. Work recommenced in 1943. The first round was fired in April 1944. The huge guns were too little too late and were never fired in anger. The area provides the last major fortress built on Australian soil and is a reminder of a prominent element of Australia's only battleground.
This is the second of the 9.2-inch gun installations. It is situated in the grounds of the Darwin Military Museum, and its restoration shows visitors just how large these guns were. The battery magazine, which was to store ammunition for the site's gun emplacements, proved to be too hot and too dangerous. New stores were later built below ground level.
The right-hand tower provided a commanding view as an observation tower. The plotting room was housed in the tower as well as searchlights housed on the first level. The purpose of the artillery store was to house parts and tools for the two 6-inch guns and to provide a workshop for the armourers. A rooftop platform served as an emergency section command post. This is one of the later artillery stores, which were built below ground level. They were cooler and safer. The 6-inch guns were coastal defence guns, originally a battery of 4, installed in the 1930s as part of Darwin's harbour defences. The 6-inch guns were eventually deemed insufficient as the threat from Japan grew and work began on larger 9.2-inch gun emplacements. The reserve features the legendary Rock Sitters Club, which became the World Rock Sitting Champions in 1977 with a 5-day rock sit. The Darwin Rock Sitters meet every Saturday at sunset. The original rock was destroyed by lightning in 1987, but the tradition continued despite this setback.
The East Point Aquatic Life Reserve contains an easily accessible example of the fringing coral reefs found scattered around the coastline near Darwin. Next to the reefs are sponge beds of special scientific interest. The reserve's management plan aims to protect these environments, particularly from fishermen and collectors of aquarium fish.
The Darwin Military Museum, which is also located in the East Point Reserve, focuses on Darwin's military history, particularly its role in World War II. It includes the Defence of Darwin Experience, which features multimedia presentations and artifacts from the bombing of Darwin. The museum also has outdoor exhibits of artillery, vehicles, and other military equipment.
This exhibit is an example of the 1942 Willys Jeep, originally designated a Vehicle General Purpose or Vehicle GP. The name resulted in the term Jeep. Willys were the original designers and manufacturers of the Jeep and then contracted the building of them to Ford.
Furpy water carts were a feature of Australian towns without running water. Water was transported in horse-drawn trains, and their drivers were a source of gossip. Hence the expression, "That's a Furpy."
The 25-pounder field gun was towed into action. With a range of 10,000 meters, these guns would fire against infantry targets, but were also effective against armored vehicles and buildings.
The museum has a wide range of displays and artifacts which are well displayed and documented. This is a replica of a dress jacket that was worn by those working in the bureaucracy. The museum features the Defence of Darwin Experience, which is an engaging multimedia presentation for visitors. This is a 1968 ACO recovery crane-fitted truck used by the Army.
This the amphibious transport vehicle called the Buffalo. Its design only allowed it to operate in calm seas.
This rangefinder was used to determine the angle and distance to the target. This one is the largest in the world and was installed at the East Point gun emplacements. This is a 1942 Chevrolet Blitz, which was used as a general services truck.
This is the center motor from the HMAS Kourou. It is typical of small vessels that were pressed into service during the war. It ran between Darwin and Timor, delivering men and supplies.
This tower was originally the command post for the 9.2-inch guns. It housed the fire direction equipment and was used as an observation post.
This is a dual-barrel 40mm Bofors gun. It was an anti-aircraft weapon designed by the Swedish company AB Bofors in the 1930s. The Kleetrack tractor was used in road building and repairs, as well as towing heavy bombers at wartime airstrips.
This is one of the 6-inch guns. We saw the emplacement sites earlier in this video. There are several engines and propellers on display, each with their own story. This one separated from the fuselage of a Kitty Hawk during a forced landing in 1942. Fortunately, the pilot survived.
2 personnel would be squeezed into the hot, noisy cabin of the Ferret scout car. One would drive, and the other would man the machine gun and grenade launchers.
Known as Projector Fortress, searchlights of this type were used to spot enemy ships to be targeted by guns on shore.
The Centurion tank was a great success, designed with effective armor and maneuverability.
Several truck bodies can be seen in the grounds of the museum. Some have been restored.
This is what remains of a street sweeping machine from the early 1900s.
East Point Beach is a small, sandy beach within the larger East Point Reserve, a popular recreational area in Darwin, known for its scenic views, historical significance, and diverse wildlife. It is a popular spot for locals and visitors to relax, walk, and enjoy Darwin sunsets, though it is not patrolled by surf lifesavers and the waters are subject to stingers and crocodiles, making it important to follow safety guidelines.